Hi, I'm Kristyn Burtt, and we're in Doheny State Park in Dana Point, California. It is a gorgeous Southern California beach day. Why are we here? Well, for the Southern California Woody Club. We're going to talk to some owners, hear all about their cars, and have a whole lot of fun. Let's take a closer look. Okay, I'm here with Terry Rogers and his 1951 Ford Woody. I'm going to start right off. What got you interested in Woodies in the first place?
Oh, I've been interested in Woodies since I was in grammar school, and I bought my first Woody in 1968, which I wasn't in grammar school anymore.
I hope not.
But, I was out of college and lived in Laguna Beach, and I bought my first Woody, and I've had Woodies ever since.
Tell us how many in total, because it's a big number.
This is my 8th Woody I've owned over the years.
And now, how long have you owned this 1951 Woody?
I bought this 7 years ago, which would be 1997. Bought it from a collector in Dallas, Texas. Brought it home and got to work on it and fixed it up the way I wanted it to be.
All right, now there's some really unique features to a 1951 Woody. Could you go through some of those unique features?
Well, probably the most unique feature I would say is the grille. It has the dual bullets on the front, to where the 49 and 50s had the single. And some of the guys prefer the single, and others prefer the double. And I'm a double guy. Yeah.
Now, the 51, you were also telling me a little bit earlier, you were talking about how it is the last model year of the classic Woody, or what's considered the classic Woody?
Yeah, most of the Woody guys consider the 51 to be the last year of the real, this isn't an all wooden car, but it's the last one with where the sides are all wood. And after that, they did a lot of little variations and, put wood on them up to 54, but they weren't true Woodies.
And I was looking at your wood on the side of the car. It's a two-tone. Tell us what kind of wood that is and how you care for it.
Well, the perimeter wood is hard rock maple, and the inserts are ribbon stripe mahogany.
So how do you care for it? Because here's the thing. These are classic surfing vehicles, right? I would think that the salt air would do a lot of damage to it.
Well, years ago, they didn't take care of them like we do today. I had my wood done by a fellow in Encinitas called Ron Hayden Woodworking, and it has a lot more varnish. When you got them from Ford originally, they only had 3 coats of varnish, and if I remember right, I think Ron put on between 10 and 13 coats, and I don't let it sit out in the sun. It's put in the garage except when I'm driving it, and I put pure carnauba wax on with a couple drops of lemon oil to give it a little shine, and just take a lot better care of it, and don't drive it in the rain if at all possible, and I never wash it.
Now I want to know, here's the thing, since it's a classic surf car, are you out there with your surfboard every weekend?
No, those days are over for me.
But you still look good in your Woody. That's all that matters, right?
Thank you.
All right, we are here with Steve Gerritsen and his 49 Mercury, which is also a cover model. Nice.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Congratulations. When did you find out about this?
This was about a year ago that they asked me to take the color shoot, and then took them about 6 months to get the picture right and put it on the cover. So it's been out for about 6 months.
That's a big deal. You have bragging rights in your car now.
Absolutely. That's what I want to do. I got a picture down in front of it with also on the front cover of the Woody Times, which is the national Woody magazine.
Oh, so it's a twice cover model.
Yes, it is.
Oh. Now let's get down and dirty with this car, because we're talking about a rare vehicle here.
Yes, we are. There were far fewer Mercurys made. It was kind of like the expensive car compared to the Ford at that time.
Okay, so do you know what the production level was that year?
Production level in 49 was about 5,000 cars, and then it dipped way down to about 2,000 cars in 50, and then about 3,500 in 51. So
wow, so it kept dropping. Right. Do you know how many are in existence now for your 49?
No, I don't, but I know that in the Woody clubs across the United States, there's about 12 of them that people have registered.
Now, was this your first Woody that you purchased?
This was my first Woody. Even though I'm a California boy, I hadn't been able to afford or have a car like this before 10 years ago.
Did you have an interest in Woodies your entire life type of thing?
I've always grown up at the beach, so I love Woodies, but I started looking about 5 years before I got this car, and then finally he showed up with it, and I bought it, and it's been my baby ever since.
And you're never going to sell it, right?
I'm never going to sell it, and I told my kids they have to bury me in it, but they just laugh. They're going to drive it.
Yeah, and hopefully they won't drive it too much.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, we just had a 100,000-mile birthday party for it. It has 100,000 original miles on it.
Did you blow up a picture?
Well, I should have.
All right. Now, could you tell us what kind of work you had to put into it after you purchased it from the previous owner?
Okay, the paint was all done, and most of the chrome was done. So I did new tires, and I did all the wood over again. In fact, the wood's been done twice. First, it was done with 8 coats of varnish, and it wasn't quite right, so they did a few modifications, and then they put another 7 coats of varnish on it. So it has about 15 coats of varnish on the wood. The wood's really difficult to work with right here, so it's very hard to get that fitted in there properly.
Because it sort of has that concave design to it.
Correct, exactly. So they got that done, and now it's my pride and joy.
It's beautiful. Looking at two-tone wood as well, is that common on the Mercury? Because I know some, models of Ford, you have all the light wood, you have that uniform look to it.
Yeah, this is the way it was for 49 through 51, maple on the sticks, so to speak, and then the panels are Philippine mahogany.
Gorgeous. All right, I want you to tell me your favorite part of the car, whether it's driving it, whether it's something on the car. What is it?
It's something on the car. It's the front hood ornament, all in gold.
18K, 24K, what is it? Come on, do dish.
It's gold plated. I don't know.
It's gold plated. You have no idea. You should find out whether it's like 14, 18.
I should. But I had one on there, and the gold had actually worn away. And so a friend of mine said, I've got this place in Santa Ana that'll restore it. So I didn't want to take the original one off, so I had one that was all broken with the pieces of little glass broken in. Took it to him, and he restored the whole thing, redid the glass, and then gold-plated the whole frame of the emblem.
Aren't you fancy?
Yes, I am.
All right, Steve, thank you so much for talking with us. Cover model. Ooh la la. Thanks, Steve. With us is Joel Sincata. He is the president for the next 2 hours of the Southern California Woody Club. Right. And then the baton's passed.
That's right. The Doug
and
Blessing
your presidency has ended.
Right.
All right. Could you tell us a little bit, since you're president now, tell us a little bit about the club and about the show we're at here today.
Well, this is Doheny Wood 2004. We had our first show in 1998. It's started out as a small little show. Started by Mark Gansel, was kind of we call him the kahuna because he started the whole thing. And it's grown to what it is today.
This is a large show. There's a great turnout.
Yeah, last year I think we had 170 cars. This year it's probably about the same, maybe a couple less.
So speaking of Woodies, in front of us is the 1950 Woody that you own.
Yes.
How long have you had it for?
10 years, I believe.
10 years. Now, is this your first Woody, or did you have several before that?
This is the first one.
All right. What got you interested in refurbishing your car?
Well, when I was a teenager, I was like most Southern California kids. I did a lot of surfing, and one of my friends had a 46 Ford Woody. And over the years, and always in the back of my mind, when I started getting into classic cars again, what better car to own than a Woody?
Did you have to do a lot of work on the vehicle when you purchased it?
Yeah, there was a lot of work done, but I ended up redoing a lot of it. I found out the hard way that you go to people that are professionals in woodworking, not just woodworking, but in cars. I had several guys that thought they could do the wood, but
not so much.
They weren't making furniture. They were making Woodies, so.
That's awesome. What's your favorite aspect of your Woody?
Driving it.
Do you drive it up and down the coast? How often do you take it out?
We go on probably at least 8 Woody events a year, everywhere from Encinitas, which is the biggest probably Woody show in the world, and then Santa Cruz in June, which is up north of San Francisco, south of San Francisco. But so
sure about that?
Yeah, I think. But we take a couple of days driving up there and drive through Big Sur along the coast of the Redwoods, and there's I've said it 100 times and talking to people, but nothing nicer than seeing about 12, 15 Woodies driving down the coast through the Redwoods. It's beautiful.
That's pretty cool. Now, do you still surf? Is that your real board?
Yeah, I don't get to do as much as I do. In case anybody knows, I just retired as a fireman, so I'm trying to get more time to do that. And
so you're going to take me surfing right now, right?
Sure.
All right.
We'll take the board out. We're raffling.
I think this is too sparkling and glittery for surfing.
Never happened. We're good.
Thank you so much, Joel. Outgoing president, Southern California Woody Club. Thanks. With us right now is Betty Nordgren with her 1941 Ford Super Deluxe Woody, and I think that's the perfect thing to start out with, Betty. What does it mean by Super Deluxe?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask that question. I know Ford made, the regular Fords, and they also made the Super Deluxe. I'm not sure what makes a Super Deluxe, but it's just a little higher model or nicer model.
It's like a higher trim level if you were buying a car right now, a brand new car off the lot.
I think so.
But I want to know, how long have you had your Woody?
I have had it for 4 years now.
So what did you do to restore this vehicle?
Well, this came as a rolling piece of junk. It was just rusted out cowling and, the deck and the chassis. And it did have most of the original wood. So we decided it was going to be too much to try and put it back stock. So we rodded it. We completely tore it apart. The only thing that was on it was, this front end, and then the chassis. Like I said, my husband put in new floors, and then we put in a Ford 302 engine, so it's an updated engine. He also put in Jaguar front and rear end suspension so that it drives like a new car. It has front disc brakes, power steering, so it's like a new car.
Oh, it is really like a new car. I mean, you have power steering. That's incredible.
And power brakes.
Do you drive this car a lot then, with all of the power steering and the front disc brakes?
I drive it a lot, but I don't drive it daily. So I drive it to car shows, restaurants. We take friends out to dinner, just for a Sunday drive, out for breakfast.
Now, it's unusual to actually see women at a lot of these shows that are restoring cars. Did your husband's interest sort of fuel yours, or did you always have an interest even as like a kid or growing up?
I always have loved old cars. I never thought I would own a Woody. I just didn't think I would own a car like this. I knew we would own an old car because my husband loved old cars. So I think that kind of yeah, I kind of got pulled into it from that. But once we bought our first Woody, I was hooked, and I'll tell you, I love them. They're the best car in the world, and they're more fun than anybody can know.
So I want to know, what's your favorite thing on your Woody? What's your favorite, either the way well, you can't say the way it drives because it drives like a new car now, but what's your favorite thing about the Woody?
The favorite thing on my Woody is the top, the underneath. If you look inside, it's all wood slats, and they're just beautiful. And I look up there, I just have such a love for all that wood and the texture and the colors, and that's my favorite part.
Great. Well, Betty, thank you so much for sharing everything about your Super Deluxe. Your Super Deluxe Woody. We'll find out what that means later on. Thanks, Betty.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We are here with Julian Harris and Rob Jackson. Now, Rob, you're the owner of this vehicle, which is a 1948 Olds, is that correct?
1948 Oldsmobile 66 model, a 6-cylinder flathead with a hydromatic 4-speed transmission.
How long have you owned your Woody?
About 4 years now, and I bought it as a fixer-upper, and what you see today is the end result of 4 years of effort, restoration.
Is this your first Woody?
No, this is about the 4th Woody I've had in my life. I've had 3 in the 60s when I was a surfer in Southern California here.
Ah, you were a surfer, so that's where your interest sort of started.
Here I am today, with another car. It's not a surf car anymore. It's more of a gentleman's car.
Yes, now I noticed that it says Fertile Fields Farm. Tell us a little bit about the history of the car.
The car came from the Midwest, and it was a farm administration car. I believe a banker had owned it at one time and used the car to go to the various farms and administer the finances and so forth. So it never was abused, and it spent most of its life in storage in Ohio for, I guess, 36 years. It was the total length of time. And it came to California about 8-9 years ago. And I found it, like I said, about 4 years ago, and been working on it ever since. And this is what you see today is the end result of that effort.
And you use it as a gentleman's car now too, right?
It's my pleasure car. It gets out maybe 200 miles a year tops, but that's the extent of it. It's a pride of my life right now because I did the work.
Oh, your granddaughter's a pride of your life.
Well, that's one of my prides, I should say.
I saw her. Could you tell us what's unique to this particular vehicle?
Well, it's stock. I guess it's all original, and it's got a new NOS engine in it and transmission that were just put in it before I bought it. When I bought it, the engine and transmission only had 5 miles on them. So today I probably have less than 500 on this car. So the car is very, very original.
That's incredible. It's a gorgeous car. Now, I'm not ignoring Julian here. Julian from Oklahoma City.
That's correct.
Now tell us, you just sold a vehicle and you made a pretty penny on it.
Yes, I had a 1938 Ford Woody station wagon that I've had approximately for a year and a half. I purchased it out of an estate in Oklahoma City, and the car was originally owned by the Rockefellers. And it was the second vehicle we had. It was a running, driving car in very good condition, all original, and we sold it here. We advertised it on some flyers we had and sold the vehicle here at this meet.
Can I tell people how much you sold it for?
Well, we were
Private.
not so much. There's not much private about me, but we were asking $45,000 for it and took $44,000. The American way, we had to dicker a little bit over the price, and we came down $1,000.
So you think that the Rockefellers bought it for $44,000?
A slight percentage of that number, maybe.
Maybe like $2,000-$3,000 at the time?
I think those cars sold new for maybe $600-$700, something like that.
Oh, God, can you imagine? That's all for today from Doheny State Park in beautiful Dana Point, California. I'm Kristyn Burtt. We'll see you next time.